bling bling. God looks at the heart. So you got to make sure that your heart is in order. Now watch this. When you begin to monitor your heart, you will discover that your heart has some dysfunctions. I don't think anybody can live in this world and not have some heart trouble. See, last week we were talking about the fact that many of us have or still have an ailment known as sclerocardian, or hardness of the heart. Hardness is a spiritual insensitivity that leads to destitution of spiritual perception. In other words, the heart, when it becomes hard, shuts off, distances itself from you and from God. As my mama would simply say ebonically, the heart has grown cold. Anybody know any cold-hearted people? See, dealing with continuous disappointments, and as long as you live in this world, you're going to have some disappointments, failed dreams, constant attacks, misguided faith, and this causes you to build a wall around your heart, hoping that you will shut everything and everybody else out. See, the problem with that is that when we begin to shut people out, we have a tendency of also shutting God out, because God works through people. Now, can I just take my time? I'm trying to get this thing right. So we got to pray that God will remove our stony heart and replace it with a heart of flesh, a heart that is tender and responsive to his love and his way. Now God said, Earl, that's good, but you gotta add the rest of this to this. Gotta deal with this. There's another condition of the heart that is very similar to hard-heartedness. There's nothing like an offended heart. See, a lot of y'all came in here with smiles on your face, but I know some of y'all are offended. See, an offended heart is a negative attitude that one adopts when one has been affronted by someone or something, so that he or she sends an attitude, word, or deed, and usually keeps on sinning as he or she develops bitterness and resentment towards the offending individual or situation. Let me break that down now. See, the person who has an offended heart believes that somebody has done them a great injustice, stepped over boundaries, pushed the envelope too far, treaded on their dreams, robbed them of their joy, let them down, took them for granted, messed over them. Anybody in here feels offended? I don't know about you, but I get offended all the time. Because folks just don't know how to mind their own business. Everybody likes to get in your business. And if folks would just take 6 months to mind their own business and 6 months to leave you alone, you wouldn't have an offended heart. But the fact of the matter is, folks just can't keep themselves to themselves. See, that's real. See, even in church, somebody is going to step on your foot. Now, so therefore, we got to work with this offended heart, because a lot of us are on the down low. We got a smile on our face, but deep down in our hearts, we are hating on the person sitting right beside us. Now, I know that might be your man, that might be your woman, but some of y'all got offended hearts even in your marriages. Okay, y'all don't want to talk to me, so I'll talk to myself. Okay, so now keep in mind, in the Bible, the word translated as offense is the word in English that we use called scandal. A scandal in the Bible is an offense. An offense is a scandal. Now keep in mind, the Greek word scandalon means a stick for bait, a snare, a stumbling block, or just simply something that offends. See, if you would translate the word scandalon as it is in most parts of the Bible, you see it not as an offense, but the word that is usually used is a stumbling block. And everybody in here has a stumbling block. And as quiet as it's kept, the stumbling block is not always the devil. The stumbling block might be your next door neighbor, your fellow employee, your lover that you had last night. Stumbling blocks. And if some of us would be serious with this business, get downright serious, you'd have to admit that sometimes the stumbling block is you.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Watch this. Let me make it plain. An offense is a trap. And traps are hardly set by accident. See, traps are set by people.
You get deep, Doc.
It means that someone wants to impede on your progress, steal from you, maybe even kill you.
Say so.
Now Jesus says, don't get so caught up in worrying about who the person is, but worry about the spirit that's behind the person. And he says, in spite of what people do, they're all working hand in hand with the devil. Because ultimately, it is he who comes to kill, steal, and destroy.
That's the word.
I think I got that right. Now, watch this. See, he says, whatever people do to you, and as long as you live, folks gonna do something to you. Satan usually is the motivator, the guide, and the instigator behind that person. So don't go out and start hating on folks. Start hating on the devil that's in and behind the folks. Now watch this. Don't you understand? Don't you know that Satan is not fascinated with keeping earthly conveniences, small positions, or even money from you? Satan wants to thwart, stop the advancement of God's kingdom, prevent God's will, and even keep you from being prosperous in this earth. You got to understand, he sets us up so that we will miss our destiny and ultimately become offended by people, and even more so become offended by God. I said God, because some of y'all are offended by God. You got quiet. Why y'all getting quiet? Why y'all looking at me with that tone of voice? When I say that some of y'all are offended by God, you offended by God. And somebody say, well, no, I'm not. Yes, you are offended by God. You offended because he has not yet answered your prayers.
That's right.
And look down at the Bible. Don't look at them. Because when you get home, why did you look at me? Now, the question you need to ask yourself, are you spiritually and emotionally immature? Now, you see, these are some questions you need to ask yourself. Are you easily offended by others? See, one thing, as I've gotten older, is my skin has gotten a little tougher. The tricks that used to work don't work no more. The words that used to hurt don't hurt no more. The eyes rolling can roll on. Don't roll with me no more. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words, because I have matured. See, are you easily offended by these so-called friends. And I need to call them so-called friends because all y'all got 1,000 friends on Facebook and Twitter now. Are you that insecure that you're concerned about anything somebody says to you? Baby, you got to be like a duck and just let the water roll off your wings. Immature people are insecure people. Now, if you know who you are and you know what God has done for you, you don't give up what anybody else thinks. Because what God has for me, it is for me. And I don't care what you say, what you think, what you do. If God be for me, who can be against me? I got to get into this thing a little now. Are you dominated by your emotions? Some of y'all wear your emotions on your sleeve. That's why everybody offends you, because don't you know when folks know they can get under your skin? One of the things I've taught my son, don't let everybody get under your skin. Don't let everybody offend you and cause you to have an attitude. That's just showing your insecurity and your immaturity. But learn how to look them dead in the eyes and tell them, don't you have something better than that? Don't you understand? My Heavenly Father watches over me. God's been too good to me to let you mess up my day. God has been too good to me to keep you on my mind. God has been too good for you to me to keep me from getting my blessing. Look at two people and tell them, I don't care what you say or what you do. I'm on my way up and I can't be turned around. I'm on my way to higher ground. Wait a minute. Are you lacking self-control? Are you one of those folks who you get offended when folks correct you? Are you offended when people hold you accountable for your own foolishness? Or are you one of them double-minded people, unable to exercise effective leadership in difficult situations? Maybe, just maybe, you have the problem. It's not so much the other person that you call the offender, it's you. How long are you going to be socially, spiritually, and emotionally immature? Yes. When you going to grow up? See, some of y'all might be 30 years of age, but you got the emotional makeup of a 3-year-old. Oh, y'all mad with me? How long are you going to blame others for your foolish reactions? See, I used to like to run off at the mouth when folks offended me, and my mama said to me, they didn't cause the problem, you the problem. She says, if you learn how to shut your mouth sometimes. Watch this. I'm finished. Can I give y'all a few suggestions to take home to heal your offended heart? Because God just told me some of y'all are offended with me now. I came here for deacon's ordination and consecration, and the Negro talking about being offended. He insulted me. I got my Sunday best on. I've got my best do. I went and got my weave glued and sewed. And he's talking about me. He offended me. Well, you go home and tell mama, pastor said, grow up. Now watch this. Now let me help you, give you some solutions to healing your offended heart. See, in order to heal your offended heart, you got to first admit that you're immature. Oh, y'all didn't want me to say that. That it's not the person that has the problem, it's you. See, the Bible says, confess your trespasses one to another and pray for another that you might be healed. Now, if you want to get that monkey off your back, you got to confess to God and you got to confess to yourself that I am immature and that I need to grow up. Some of you parents need to tell your kids, grow up. Some of y'all need to go home and tell your spouses, grow up. Some of y'all need to go to work tomorrow morning for that sister that always gets on your back and look in her eyes and say, when you gonna grow up? Now make sure you spiritually mature because she's gonna throw something back at you. See, I gotta confess it. I gotta confess it. I got some problems. That's why Jesus says your prayer ought to be, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who what? Trespass against us. Now watch this. The second thing you need to do this. Learn how to forgive those who offend you. The reason why, if you don't forgive them, they will. If you don't forgive them, they're going to be part of your life for the rest of your life. They're going to stay in your dreams. They're going to be in your visions. Every time you sit down, they're going to be in your thoughts. Now, the one way to let them go is just call them on the phone and say, baby, I know what you were trying to do, but I forgive you. And then hang up. Delete their name and keep on trucking. Now look at somebody and tell them, hey, the reason why you still offended is because you haven't forgiven that person. But you're bigger than that. Look at somebody and tell them, I'm bigger than that. If there's somebody in the house that's offended, you look them in the eyes right now and say, hey, guess what, baby? I forgive you. You thought you were hurting me, but nah. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. Look at me. I still got my mind. I still got some good sense. Whatever you throw against me did not work. But I'm a bigger person because I know you're a small person. And I just came by to let you know I love you anyhow. Watch this. See. Third thing, you make up your mind. Tell yourself, it's time to grow up. Leave immaturity behind so that you can grow stronger spiritually and emotionally. See, you'll find out that the more you grow up, the closer you will get to God. It will deepen your faith. It will strengthen your convictions, and your offenses won't gnaw at your spirit any longer. You'll even look back over your life and wonder how you could let somebody so insignificant, so meager, so finite, so foolish and silly, so irrelevant and unnecessary mess up your time. When I think about some of these folks that offended me, I get angry that not because they offended me, but I was so stupid to let them mess up my day. I lost a lot of good time thinking about folks that are insignificant. Or why y'all looking at me like that? Took some of my best days going to bed at night angry with insignificant folks. Folks that didn't pay my bills. Folks that didn't pay my insurance. Folks that didn't take care of my house. Folks that didn't sleep with me and talk with me. And I was all mad for nothing. And then I walked by and find out they're smiling because you know what? They forgot all about me and they forgot what they said. But I was still grow up, boy. Now the last thing I got to say, and I'm finished. Learn how to walk in the Spirit. See, allow the Spirit to manifest His fruit in your life. Don't you know when you begin to walk in the Spirit, submit to the Spirit, totally depend on the Spirit, God will give you what you need to handle your offender. Resist your temptations. Pass the test in this life. See, anybody ever read the fruit of the Spirit in Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 and 23? Now watch this, and I'm going to take my seat. See, because I've learned that if I put it in God's hands, God will work it out. And if I walk with God, God will walk with me. And God will give me what I need to make it through the day. Are there any witnesses in the house? See, if you're with God and everything goes wrong, God will show up just when you need him most. When you're going through hell and high water and pressures on every side, God will give you what you need. Well, what do you need, my brother? When you're going through something, you need love. Love for those who don't love you in return. You need joy in the midst of painful circumstances. You need peace when something you trusted in and somebody you believed on didn't mount up to nothing. You need patience when things aren't going fast enough. You need kindness for your so-called haters that treat you wrong. You need goodness for those who despitefully use you. You need faithfulness when your friends are unfaithful. You need gentleness toward those who trample on your dreams, trample on your hope, trample on your faith. But most of all, you need self-control when you're about to lose your mind. My mama would say it this way: when you see folks trying to push your buttons, just simply say these words: hallelujah. Anyhow, never let your troubles get you down. When trials come your way,